Dear viewers and listeners, welcome to another episode of the QuantiFarm podcast. In today's episode, I'm very happy to welcome Zoé Guy from our partner IDELE, and together we will discuss about the test case activities and the demo events that IDELE is managing. So, Zoé, welcome and thank you very much for accepting the invitation and being here today.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Great, so let's start. Can you briefly explain IDELE's role in the QuantiFarm project and also give us an overview of what a test case is in the context of QuantiFarm and what it aims to achieve?
Okay, so IDELE is the French Livestock Institute. We usually do research and development for the ruminant sectors in France. And so in the QuantiFarm project, we are what we call a test case leader. So we manage 2 test cases.
And what a test case is in the context of QuantiFarm?
So in the context of QuantiFarm, a test case is use case where we are assessing a specific technology for a specific agricultural sector. And to assess this technology, we are relying on commercial farms using this technology or not.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Now that we have an overview of what a test case is, could you give us an overview of the test cases that IDELE is managing and speak about a little bit their outcomes and what they aim to achieve?
Okay, so in IDELE's test cases, we are managing 2 in this project, one on dairy cattle and one on beef cattle. And both test cases are assessing the same technology, which is feeding robots for cattle. So this technology is a robot that will go around the farm and distributes feed to the animals several times during the day, so that the farmer doesn't have to do it every day. So this is the main goal of the technology, and in the QuantiFarm project we will see if what are the costs and benefits for the farmer to use this technology regarding the economic, social, and environmental aspects.
Thank you very much for your answer. And during the implementation of the test cases, did you encounter any challenges that you would like to share with us? And if so, have you responded to those challenges in a specific way?
Yeah, so the main challenges for us in this project was that usually IDELE is not in direct contact with farmers. We are usually relying on partners that are maybe advisors or organizations working around farmers. And so in this project we had to find farmers that would match the requirements for QuantiFarm and that would be happy to get involved in the project. And that was not our usual way of doing things, but we managed it through our networks and relation with the advisors organization. Here it's the Chamber of Agriculture that helped us find farmers for our test case and then keep them involved through the whole project.
Great, thank you very much. It is always very difficult, of course, to overcome these obstacles and get familiar with other processes that you're not familiar in the first place, but you have responded in these challenges very directly. And another question would be, what steps have you taken to promote knowledge sharing between test cases, particularly through demo events?
Yeah, so, well, of course we as every test case in the project, we organize demo events for our test cases that I will speak a bit more after. And also we participated in what we call a cross visit, meaning that from one of our test cases, our dairy cattle test case, we brought our farmer using the feeding robot. He came with us to the demo events organized by the Irish partners, Chigask, and we went there to visit their farmers involved in the project, and that demonstrated how they use milking robots for dairy cattle. That was a really interesting trip for us and for our farmer to discover a little bit more about agriculture in Ireland and how they use technologies.
And of course, share what you're doing and is successful, what they are doing and is successful, to exchange all the secrets that make your events special and successful. So I imagine that this has helped a lot, right?
Yeah, really.
Of course. And one very important question: how have local farmers been involved in these test case activities? What has been their initial feedback or for the digital tools tested?
Yeah, so in addition to, of course, the farmers involved directly in our test cases, so we had 2 demo events, one for each test case, where we invited local farmers to discover the activities of the project, the technology. We spoke a lot about the technology and how it was implemented in our farm user from both test cases, and also we shared with them the results of the QuantiFarm project, and we demonstrated the toolkit, which is one of the production from the project, and which is basically an online tool for farmers, advisors, and policymakers that want to look at what technology could be relevant for their situation.
Great, thank you very much. And how have been? Were farmers eager to learn more? Did you get any positive or feedback that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, we had. Well, first on the technology, the feeding robot, we had quite a few exchanges with farmers that were currently looking for implementing it on their farm, and so they were interested in knowing more about how it worked for our farmers, and also a lot about what were the actual benefits from using the technologies on the farms in our test cases. Yeah, and also we had a lot of interest in the toolkit, and farmers as well as advisors were eager to know more about this kind of tool, and to because it's something that can be sometimes a bit missing about new technologies. We speak a lot of new technologies, but sometimes we lack something to help farmers and advisors know what exists and how it could be relevant or not regarding the situation on a specific farm.
Of course, and QuantiFarm Toolkit functions also as a consultant for farmers, advisors, and policymakers. They can actually see what is the best fit for their needs, for their farms, for their crops. So it's a very nice way to consult it and see what is the best practice for you. So that's very positive that they actually liked it and they were eager to learn more. Thank you very much. And how do you plan and organize all these demo events? Do you follow any specific approach for involving local stakeholders, farmers, advisors, and making these events meaningful for the local communities?
Yeah, what we aim to do and what we did for our 2 demo events is to organize them jointly with our open house day from our nearest experimental farms, because IDELE we work with experimental farms all over France, and so yeah, we for both demo events we had one day on the test case farm to demonstrate basically the technology they are using and how they are using it on their farm. And then we had a second day on our experimental farm where the subject, the demonstrations, we could have different workshops where represented larger subjects than just the one from QuantiFarm, because sometimes if you want people to move around, come to your event, if you only have one subject, one technology or one project, it can be not enough to make it last the whole day. We try to do it for several projects in the same time and to show our work on different subjects.
And to present various solutions that would make people attracted to these solutions and learn more. So you offer like a wide range of project solutions and other digital tools for everyone that's interested to learn more.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Thank you very much for the answer that you gave us. And one question I would like to ask you very much. How are you evaluating whether these digital tools that are tested are bringing any real value to the farmers and actually improving their practices?
So yeah, the challenge is when we speak about digital tools, sometimes it doesn't stop. The benefits are not only related to the economy. Most of the time, especially for livestock, farmers implement digital tools to help them on tasks that are time consuming, sometimes hard to do, and so the social aspects regarding quantity and quality of work is really important with the digital tools, and so that's a big part on evaluating those tools.
Of course, it's very important to actually consider time. Costs are always a factor that affects most decisions in adoption of digital tools, but also time consumption is another very critical factor, and thank you for mentioning that. And now, one final question before we finish our discussion for today. What key lessons or good practices has IDELE identified so far from the whole experience that you have from organizing all these test cases, all these test case activities and all the demo events? What you would like to share with us?
Yeah, for me the key lesson when you speak about digital technologies and how to implement them on a farm is to ask yourselves the good questions before you pick what you will implement. Because the cost and benefits you can hope from using technologies are really linked to what you start with, the time has passed where we could look at just the technology for the technology. Now it's important for farmers to look at their farm, look at where they are starting, and ask themselves what are the goals, what are the issues they need to solve, and to see technology as a mean to solve this issue. Once they know what they want, what is their goal, what is the issue they want to solve, then they can start looking at maybe what technologies could answer that, and choose the technology only on what their goal is, not just the technology for the technology.
Of course. Thank you very, very much for sharing all this interesting information with us today and for participating in the podcast.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak about this project and our test cases.
And as for you, dear viewers and listeners, thank you very much for watching this episode, and don't forget to stay tuned for all the next episodes.